Divergent thinking has been a useful concept for understanding, supporting, and measuring creativity. Today I'm going to talk about the 4 major components of divergent thinking and why it is useful. But before doing that, I would like to ask you an open-ended question. Just to be clear, there is no one single right answer for it. Here you go. List all possible uses for an umbrella. Please take 4 minutes and generate as many and original ideas as possible. Remember the divergent thinking guidelines that you learned in the last video. Pause the video now and set your alarm and come back to the video when you are ready. Welcome back. We are talking about divergent thinking and its usefulness. A major reason why it's useful is the fact that it's an operational concept. It's operational because it can be objectively identified and quantified. This is accomplished through 4 major components of divergent thinking, namely fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration. Let's break this down a bit. Fluency refers to the total number of ideas, options, solutions generated for an open-ended problem. This is a very important strength for creativity because higher fluency implies having more options to choose from. Now I would like to count the number of responses you generated for this question I asked. How many ideas did you generate? Write that down. This is your fluency score. The next one is flexibility. It's about the number of conceptual categories. The responses generated for any open-ended question could be grouped under certain categories or clusters based on their conceptual similarities. For our open-ended question, some examples for categories could be weather, aggression, protection, etc. Look back to your responses again and check them in terms of their similarity. See how many categories you recognize in your responses and count the number of categories. This is your flexibility score. Now let's talk about originality. Originality is about statistical infrequency of responses. One way to determine originality is to compare your responses with the unoriginal, in other words, statistically frequent or common ideas. We actually asked that question to a group of students and we found these responses as the common, frequent, or unoriginal ideas. These ideas were simply given by many students. So mark your ideas if they are not one of those on the list. How many original ideas do you have in your list? Write that down. This is your originality score. Now let's do an experiment together. Look back to your responses again and see how many ideas were generated. Split the list into 2 by drawing a line between the first and second halves. For example, if you have 20 responses, draw a line after the 10th response. Then count the number of original ideas in the first and second half. How many original ideas did you have in the first and the second half? Research and my own practice with my students indicated that original responses are more likely to be given in the second than the first half. Is that the case for you too? This is mostly the case because original ideas tend to come after some unoriginal and common ideas are explored. It takes some time and extra effort to get to original ideas. This is called extended effort principle and explains why higher quantity is encouraged in brainstorming. This is also related to the influence of fluency on flexibility and originality. As you generate more ideas, you will be more likely to generate more categories of ideas and more original ideas. If you stop generating ideas earlier than later, this will mostly influence your performance on your originality score. The big question is how to support our divergent thinking abilities, namely fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration. In the next few sessions, you will have a chance to practice some tools and strategies that boost these abilities.